From the Aishin Broadcast Studio, it's Women at the Wheel.
Hello and welcome to the Women at the Wheel podcast brought to you by Aftermarket News. I'm Emma Henderson. Today we are talking to Megan Gardner. She is the Executive Director for Marketing and Communications at MEMA. Megan, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be talking to you.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to learn more about your organization and a little bit about you too. So you actually had a really interesting path to working in the automotive aftermarket. So tell me, you had a job with the Ladies Professional Golf Association. How did that lead to your career at MEMA?
Yeah, it has been quite a journey. So before I started working in automotive, I actually had a master's degree in sports management, and I spent 10 years working in sports. I did marketing and sponsorship and events. And eventually that kind of led me to this marketing role with a senior LPGA tour, which was really fun. It was a great experience. I learned a lot about brand management and audience engagement, and a lot about golf, though my game is no better than when I started. But it was just a very active, interesting, ever-changing role. And I was really interested in what was happening with marketing technology at the time. So I left that role to start a job with a startup, Three Birds Marketing. I was just really interested in what was happening, like the changing landscape of marketing technology. And that's what Three Birds was doing. And that's how I got into automotive originally, is that was focused on OEMs and dealer clients. So we did a lot of work with them, and I really developed a love and a true interest in the industry. So from there, I went to Turnkey Marketing, where we did advanced digital strategies, again, interfacing with dealers and OEMs. And then kind of this gave me a great foundation. So when the role at MEMA opened up, it was a natural next step, and I'm very glad that I took it. The aftermarket is just a fantastic industry, and the supplier industry is just as exciting as it could be.
Absolutely. And you actually started at MEMA as the Director of Marketing and Member Engagement. So how did that eventually lead to you becoming the Executive Director of MEMA Marketing and Communications?
Yeah, so when I started, my focus was on member outreach, creating marketing programs to reach our members, sponsorship initiatives. And over time, I had the opportunity to demonstrate what a unified marketing strategy would look like. You know, at the end of the day, our members are the heart of our organization. So marketing can't exist separately from membership. It's just they're too intertwined. So I led initiatives that increased membership, event attendance, sponsorship, etc. And last year, MEMA realigned to better position our organization for the future, and kind of in so doing, streamlined its marketing and communications functions. So with that realignment, I was appointed to lead the newly consolidated department, which oversees all of the marketing and communications for MEMA, including aftermarket. So we look at marketing and also comms and branding. We had a big rebrand last year. We launched a new website. There was a lot going on. And it's been really exciting to have a wonderful team to work with.
So if we're hearing from MEMA, chances are you've had a hand in it in some way, shape, or form.
Yes, that's very true. Yeah.
Very cool. So now MEMA has been around for 120 years this year.
Yeah.
Why do you think it remains so important, especially when looking at the automotive aftermarket?
Yeah, it's a great question. And actually, it's MEMA's longevity really is a testament to its ability to adapt and evolve. So this last year, like the beginning of this year, when we celebrated our 120th anniversary, I did a lot of research into our archives because I needed to learn more about MEMA's story and kind of get a lot of the facts down so we could really do a true celebration. And innovation and adaptation was a consistent theme. So one thing I realized in my reading was that many of our original members were working to understand and prepare for a move to motor vehicles from bicycles. So many of them were actually bicycle suppliers who were trying to figure out how to create parts, manufacture parts, distribute parts for these newfangled machines, motor vehicles. And since then, we've helped suppliers manage through wars, which the member messages during that time were really fascinating, very intense. Two pandemics, the advent of the computer, and so many societal changes. In fact, women at the wheel represents a big societal change. And MEMA's been through it all, and has led the industry in so many ways through it all. So it's really meaningful. The history is very meaningful and helps us to inform how we can continue to support suppliers. We're looking at a new revolution now with electrification. So, I'm proud that MEMA's commitment to collaboration and innovation for 120 years has really made it indispensable to our industry.
Absolutely. Definitely a lot of changes have happened in those 12 decades.
Yes.
Presented from the Aishin Broadcast Studio at Babcock's Media.
So what advice would you have for a woman who has just started her career in the aftermarket, and how can you build connections and eventually start climbing that ladder into leadership as you have done?
Yeah, thanks for asking that question. It's important, and it's really important for us women and in leadership positions, to reflect and see how we can help the next generation. When I started, I was a very different person. When I started working just kind of out of college, I was a very different person than I am today. And it takes a lot of work to develop professionally and to strengthen your resolve and all of those things. So, I think there's so many things that women should do. The first thing, which to be honest, I didn't think was particularly easy, but it's so essential, is to seek out mentors and networking actively. Mentorship and having somebody who you can trust is just so important. The aftermarket is rich with opportunities for growth and with people who want to help you get there. So I would say, if I could tell my younger self something, I'd say, believe it when people say, reach out to me if you want to talk, or here's my card, let's go get coffee. They really meant it. And I know that when I say it to people, I really mean it. I think joining industry associations like MEMA is a great place to gain access to leaders and professional development. I think being proactive is essential, taking on new challenges, always advocating for yourself, remaining visible, making strong connections. All that's important. But I think the most essential piece of advice is it's what I would have also given myself, which is to be yourself. Women have so many pressures and outside stressors to begin with. Having confidence in your own capability and what you uniquely bring to the table eliminates some of that internal turmoil. If you can know that that's so important, what you bring. And we all need to step out of our comfort zones to succeed, absolutely. But everybody's comfort zones are very different, and they're all valid. So challenging yourself every day is essential. We have to. It's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to do things that scare you, that you lose sleep over. But that's what you have to do in order to succeed. But as long as you're staying true to who you are, it's easier because you can just fall back on what you know, what you can offer, and what you bring to the table. And that makes it easier to get through some of these challenges. The diversity of thought and perspectives, it's just so essential in everyday communication. If everybody's thinking the same thing and has the same experience, we're not going to come to the best conclusion. We're not going to have the best outcome. And I believe that the best leaders know that. So they're looking for people who are bringing that diversity of thought. They're looking for people who aren't the same as the next person. And I hope that women can feel confident enough to be themselves and to be confident that they can bring that to the table.
I love that you highlighted uniqueness, because I feel like sometimes when we have a mentor, we want to be just like them, or we want to do everything just the same way they do. But it's learning from them and then taking it and making your own spin on it that really makes that difference.
And I think I learned that the hard way. I definitely saw people who I admired and I thought, okay, if I can do that, then I'll be successful too. And it's just so uncomfortable for me. I'm not extremely outgoing or loud, or I couldn't be a football coach, for example. Like it just isn't who I am. And it was really uncomfortable. And when I realized that perhaps I was actually just good enough as I came, then it really made a difference. And I was able to just kind of skip over all of that wasted thought, focus on my work and what I can contribute.
Absolutely. And leading off of this, now MEMA is designed to support the vehicle supplier industry and the automotive aftermarket, which encompasses millions of jobs. So how do you see the organization supporting women in particular?
Yeah, I'm actually very proud to say that MEMA is committed to diversity and inclusion. And I'm really proud to work for MEMA because of that. It's not in every organization, and I'm glad that MEMA, especially with our role in the industry, it's really important for us to take that stand. So we have mentorship programs internally, networking events, and professional development opportunities that are geared towards women. We also have annual awards at Apex every year. We give the MEMA Aftermarket Supplier Member Awards to both a company and an individual who are celebrating, who we celebrate for their efforts in diversity, equity, and inclusion. And MEMA's done a lot of internal work with our employees, with our team, and I'm really proud of that work we've done together. It's sometimes uncomfortable, oftentimes, but progress is good. And progress can be slow and progress can be ugly, but progress is progress, and we'll take it. And it's really great to see the impact that it's had. But I'm also really, really proud of the public commitment that MEMA's made, that we are an organization of progress, of diversity and integrity. I know that it takes strong individuals and strong organizations to move us forward in these areas. And I'm really proud that MEMA is one of these organizations. We need leaders, and MEMA is leading along with many other proud supplier organizations and those that support supplier organizations. And there's lots of individuals out there that are doing the hard work too. So I'm proud that we're a part of it, and I'm also proud that we're not alone.
Definitely some difficult conversations when you're talking about that, but I think it also makes the place that you work a better and more welcoming place to work, and you feel more excited to actually be there. So there's always that upside to it.
It does. And the new generation of leaders that we have coming in expect that. It's the schools that they were raised in, the colleges they went to. This is their normal kind of way of being. And, we need to meet them so that they can find a home in the aftermarket and be our next generation of leaders.
Absolutely. Well, Megan, it's been a great conversation. I just want to say thank you so much for coming on the show. And of course, I'm Emma Henderson. This has been the Women at the Wheel podcast from AMN. Have a great day.